Yes, we're off to the Ukraine, where Go A, who you may have seen making a small cameo at the start of today's show, are back again, and this time they're going to be singing the song Shum. Now, they won in 2016. They've always qualified as well for the semi-final. Let's not forget, it's a bit of a semi-final of death, semi-final one, and they happen to be rooted in that. But first of all, let's get some views on the song, and let's go straight to Gustav. Go A, what are you thinking with this song? What's your instincts telling you?
Well, I have been told to be a bit nicer, so I'm going to give Ukraine A for effort because they sent a song. It's not a very good song, but it's a song, so I'm happy with that.
Wow, it's a song. They're all songs, Gustav. It's a song contest.
Some countries have been struggling with sending songs this year, so they sent a song.
I think you've got a kindred spirit in Neil in the chat. If we could just put the comment back up there. Shum translates as noise. I think, you know, well, come on, panel. There's got to be some... Tristan, let's go across to you.
Well, Ukraine is my number one of all 39 songs. I love it. Go A were my favorite last year as well. When I first heard the song, I loved it. But the revamp is fantastic, and the revamp has made it even better. I preferred last year's originally, but with the revamp of Shum, it's better than last year's. It is so good, and the way that it speeds up, and all the that exciting video with everyone. Oh, it's a brilliant video with everyone in Pripyat in near Chernobyl, dressed in those white suits, and they start dancing quickly. And the whole tempo of the song changes. It's just so exciting, and we've not had anything like this in Eurovision probably since Bulgaria in 2007 with Alitsa and Stoyan singing Water, which came 5th. This is definitely going to qualify. It's my favourite. It won't win because it's just going to be a little bit too strange for the televoters. I think the jury will love it. But I can definitely see this coming top 5. The only shame is, obviously, there's 4 people in the band. There's only going to be room for another 2 more people on stage, 2 people dancing. It's a real shame because it's such a ravey song. It would be great if maybe they could use the backdrop videos and maybe incorporate their video in the performance so that you've got more people dancing on stage, as it were. It is absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to see it. It's the thing I'm most excited about this Eurovision.
Hey, fantastic. And I'll be honest, I quite like this one compared to Solovey. I wasn't that keen on Solovey last year. Whereas this one, there's a couple of times I've heard it come on the radio or on my playlists and things like that. And it's one of those songs where it starts playing and then you're like, oh, what's that? And you have to look at it and you're like, oh, it's that one. Because it's quite likable. Jude, I can see you nodding away there as well. Has this one grown on you as well?
I wouldn't say it grew on me. I think this is one of these songs, you've got the songs on in the background while you're doing your dishes or making up your bed, and you're like, what is that one? And you go over to check what country's playing. I think it's way better than last year. It's more upbeat, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's also not my type of music. There's just something very enticing about it, and I would really like it to do well on the night.
Hey, thanks for that, Jude. And I think this has real potential. Phil and Michelle, in an ideal world, how would you like to see this song staged?
I think it needs a bit of sort of fairly bonkers dancing.
Somebody on roller skates.
Well, no. Yeah, I think, you know, it needs some dancers and some decent staging. But I think it's a good song.
I like it. I like the live version that she did for, I don't know if it was for Ukrainian TV, where the camera was quite tight in her head and she was just going like that with the shoulders, and she looked really fierce, and it was quite captivating. I really like that. I think they need to keep it simple. I don't think they need too much. I think they should have the bloke with the With the
like
recorder,
it's
should have the blank
yeah.
recorder, but there's also, if you listen to it, a twangy thing. You need to get the man with a twanger on stage because you always get an extra point for a weird instrument.
I also think they need to, with the staging, it needs to sort of gradually build up because the song gradually gets faster and faster. And I think, you know, they need to capitalize on that somehow. And, you know, start off with a fairly simple staging and gradually
And then
throw more and more elements into it. And
the bloke with the recorder starts going mental and it speeds up.
Yeah, but, you know, it needs to build, but it's a good song, and I think it'll do well.
I think it'll do well as well.
I hope it does.
They've got it in in the betting. It's 12th, so it's down as not qualifying. But I think they're wrong. I think it is going to qualify. It's had 1.7 million views on YouTube of the new video, not of the remix and not of the old one. So I think this is going to do really well.
Interesting. Obviously, we've had lots going on in the chat room. Question in the chat for Elliot. Do you like Shum, Elliot? It comes from James.
In a word, yes. I really do like this. I agree with Phil and Michelle. There's a subtle intensity about the way Katerina performs, because she did the same with Solovey last year, where she does like little movements and she's got such a glassy stare, and I think it really, really works. Staging, I think they need to borrow basically what George did in 2016, and when that drop comes in, the lighting just needs to go up to like 11 and just, you know, convey that party atmosphere basically. Will it qualify? I don't know. I would love it to, but I'm not sure, but just because of how left field it is and how tough this semi-final is. But on a personal perspective, yeah, I'd have this go straight through. I think it's brilliant. I absolutely love it, and I pray it makes the final because, again, like Australia, there's nothing like this in this contest, so we need it in the final on the Saturday night.
Interesting. Cheers for that, Elliot. Now, the thing is, there are lots of original songs in semi-final one. That is why it's so strong. Stuart, is it original enough to stand out?
Yeah, it's a really good song. I liked the song last year, actually. I thought Solovey was really good. This is very different, and I thought Tristan was on point when he said it reminded him of Bulgaria 2007. It does to me as well. Voda, absolutely. And if you think back to 2007, it really stood out because there was nothing like it. There was absolutely nothing like this at Eurovision 2021. It's already a really, really diverse year, I think. This song is going to, I think, translate well on stage in Rotterdam, and with no question in my mind, Ukraine will make it to the final. It's the big question is where they're going to finish, and I see this as a top 10. And yeah, good luck to them. I think it's a really good song, and 17th in the betting at the moment, by the way. So if you're looking for a decent bet to go and place prior to the rehearsals, which start in some point early May, then this is a good one, I think. That, without question, will not go unnoticed. Thanks, Tom.
And I will ask people with their Stuart betting bingo cards to please now cross off Ukraine from the Stuart has recommended you put some money on this one to bet. Every year. First one to recognise he's done a full house can have a ESC Fan TV badge. There we go.
It's 80 to 1. It's worth a bet.
There we go. Worth a bet. Just going to sweep up some final thoughts on this. Oban, where do you see Ukraine placing this year?
I mean, I am still in a huge debt to Michael, who I was like in struggle last show on Friday we did for the cultural orgasm. Drinks bottoms up, Michelle and Phil. I was between Shum and Via Norge, and I was hoping that someone will catch up on that one. So I'm really thankful. This song, this year, there's nothing like it. And people remember, and this both statement is for the good reason. It's original, it's cultural, it's dynamic, it's memorable, it's a perfect Eurovision song, and I think it's a definite qualifier. It's not gonna win. I don't think it's gonna make top 10, but it's gonna be another case of 2018, where it was this vampire kid from Ukraine. I think it's gonna result Melovin. It's gonna be the result is gonna be the same as 2018, but it's definitely a beautiful color for 2021.
Hey, thanks for that, Oban. And finally, Michael, where can you see Ukraine finishing?
Now listen, this song is a Vegemite song. You either love it or you hate it. And as an Australian, I love this. This is my cultural orgasm moment, as you guys have heard on Friday. This is a song which is rooted in Ukrainian folklore and elevates it to something which is amazing and outstanding. This is my one song as well. This is everything, and I can't wait to see this stage in Rotterdam. And I really hope it qualifies, and I hope it makes it to the high left-hand side of the board, because like Stuart, I put a bit of cash on this to make the top 10. So, Ukraine, let's go.
Hey, thanks for that, Michael. Really positive about Go A. Looks like it's one to put a bet on. Get yourself down the bookies. John Boy reckoning it's going to finish 15th to 20th in the final, though. That doesn't bode well. But hey, I think 80 to 1 sounds like Stu's already gone and put a tenner on it anyway.